Kobe's waiting for me to play with his wish ball. Yes, we still have one left. Got no squeaky in it now though, that's gone. So let's take his, stay still Kobe. Let's take his lead off. Because, not cause, that's London talk that, because we are in our little haven. There's my seat up there that I normally sit on. So there's the apple tree where I normally pick an apple from. Lovely apples. Look at that. Feel like Eve. And this is the little nature reserve place that I come to. And I've just noticed, I've not noticed that before, I've just noticed that it looks like a plum tree. Might be, what are those things that I was, what are those things that I picked in the hospital grounds near where I live? Damsons. I don't think it is damsons, I think they're too big. So there's the apple tree. I'm going to walk to my little bench where I normally sit. I'm beginning to feel a bit like Vernon Coleman. Did you watch him? Well, he done his last video. Last week, was it? You know, the doctor. Well, he was a doctor. Oh, look at that lovely dragonfly. I wonder if we can catch it. Oh, look at that, look at that. Look, it's chasing its girlfriend. Did you catch that? Oh, where's he gone? Look, he's up there. Trying to get his girlfriend. So, I'm going to sit here and throw the ball for Coburn. Put my chewing gum down because I'm trying to stop smoking. I've been good today, I haven't smoked today. And amazingly, anyway, remember I told you yesterday that I'd received information about Matthew. Matthew suffered from psychiatric problems, and with the lockdown, he had a flat. I mean, the psychiatric people aren't great at the best of times. Always say, oh, cutbacks and everything else. We haven't got much staff. But with COVID, well, he ended up took his own life. And then, it's my son's birthday tomorrow. He'll be 43. And, 43. Anyway, he phoned me up. He said, Mum, have you got a car over the weekend? I wouldn't mind going to a car boot sale. I said, no, the car goes. I lend my friend's car, I told you. Well, anyway, I've used it for the last time today until next Wednesday because he goes back. It's my friend's husband. Well, they're both my friends. So while he's working in London, I get to use the car because then he can park it where I live. So, oh yeah, we had madness about that as well this week. Came downstairs to drive away in my car, and a new neighbour, she's been there for, I don't know, 2.5 years. She's a converted, religious convert, put it that way, that wears a full outfit across her eyes and everything. Most of the people in the block are of the same religion. But she's a convert, so she's a bit OTT. Anyway, she parked her car in front of mine, didn't leave the phone number on it. And when I eventually tracked her down, because she was sleeping, she got annoyed that I'd woken her up and asked her to move her car and made a big scene about it and everything. Anyway, that's another story. So yeah, last night my son phoned me. He said, yeah, just got your message to say that Matthew's, because Matthew actually just lives around the corner from him. And he said, yeah, I found out what happened, that his brother turned up there and the door was broken and he wondered what had happened, and the next door neighbour came out and said that the police had broken the door down because he'd died. So I'm thinking, rumour be, that he would have been phoning the social services and everything, and of course they're not responding. And then he would have phoned the police before he took his life. Probably on the hope that they would rescue him. Because it's cry for help, isn't it? Anyway, COVID lockdown. And then Lee, my son, then he told me about another, well, to me, a young lad, because these were all children when my children were children, called Greg. And Greg Dale. And Greg, oh my God, his story, I'll brief through it very quickly. It's like this is like unbelievable, some of these people's lives. Right, Greg, when he was a baby, he fell out the bedroom window. So you've got ground floor, first floor, so it's first floor, but he fell onto the garden path, concrete. So he knocked himself out. He was in hospital for quite a few weeks. He was about 2.5 years old. And he was in a coma for quite a while. When he came out of it, he had brain damage. Not to the point where he couldn't... he was never compos mentis properly again. I mean, for a while, he had to learn... Well, he was a kid, so he's walking and all that work and all that good before he fell out the window, but it didn't stop him from being able to walk and talk and things like that, but it gave him brain damage. So he was like 3 steps behind, 10 steps behind, you know what I mean? Slurred speech. Anyway, long story short, not many girlfriends want a bloke like that, do they? And then as he got older, his mum had different situations happen. He was a teenager and got in trouble, and usual things that teenagers do. Not bad stuff, but got in trouble. And anyway, then when he got a bit older, he started drinking. Not heavy at first, just the sociable drink, as it is. Oh, we're old enough to go down the pub now, let's go. And my kids have never been drinkers. I've never been a drinker. None of my kids are drinkers. They're like me. They have occasional brandy and coffee with a dinner, after dinner. Very occasional glass of wine, but none of them are drinkers. But I've never been a drinker, I'm not funny. So they've not been brought up with it. Anyway, so Greg eventually met a girl, a foreign girl, originally foreign, her parents were anyway. A nice girl, I only met her once, I think, and they had a child. I didn't see him for a lot of years. You hear about him, oh yeah, Greg Dale's this, Greg Dale's that. Anyway, long story short, they was living together, had the baby. Now there's a garage down the road, it's a 24-hour garage, so she's gone to the garage one night to get some cigarettes. And, there's like any couple, occasionally they have a dispute or something, or shout at the kids and, or laugh and joke and it's a bit loud and whatever. But other than that, they was happy together. They was happy, they was really happy. Anyway, she's gone to the, walk down the road, done it 1,000 times, walked down the road to go to the petrol station, a 24-hour petrol station, to get some cigarettes and whatever, and she didn't come back. So Greg's waiting for her, because since that time I've sat and talked to Greg, waiting for her. She didn't come back. So he phoned the police and they said, until she's been missing for 48 hours, there's nothing we can do. And he's going crazy with the police. But hang on a minute, I'm indoors. She's gone to the petrol station. She's only down the road, and she's got kids here. She's not going to just walk out the door with just her coat and not come back. Something's happened. What's happened? I can't go looking for her. So he woke the kids up, put them in prams, went looking for her. Can't find her, and couldn't find her. Anyway, before the 48 hours was up, the police come knocking on his door. Social services grabbed the kids, drag him off to the police station, and he finds out that his wife has been found dead down an alleyway. So now he gets accused of killing her. Anyway, we're going to cut a long story short here. This went on for months. the social services kept the kids. And then eventually it turned out that they blatantly caught some, because it wasn't the first person that had been killed. Anyway, they blatantly caught someone who was a foreigner, and he'd attacked another girl and tried to kill her, and luckily enough someone had come along and disturbed him and run off, but he'd left this girl half dead, and she witnessed it and everything, and it turns out they caught the bloke. His DNA was the same DNA that was found on Greg's wife, so Greg got loose. But by that time, Greg's now kicked the bottle big time, because he'd gone into prison on remand, while he's waiting to be found guilty of killing his wife, because the neighbours had said they'd heard them arguing a few days before, which apparently wasn't arguing, they was all singing and dancing, but the neighbours said they heard them and it was loud. And this is people's lives, isn't it? Craziness. So anyway, by the time I've met up with Greg again, because everyone gets on their lives, I don't live in his pocket, and I met up with him a couple of times. I bumped into him, or I was driving along and he's called me and I've stopped and we've gone for a cup of coffee, and by that time he's heavily into alcohol. Now he's into drugs as well, heroin and everything. Anyway, the kids, never got the kids back. Not only didn't he get them back, but because now he's a drug addict, alcoholic, they wouldn't even let him see the kids. I mean, the kids now, they've got to be in their teens, if not 18, or they've got to be 15s and 16s at least. And anyway, Lee told me last night that Greg was in rehab, which he said that he was going to go to last time I saw him. In rehab, he wanted to get cleaned up, because once his kids got to 16 years old, then they can choose to see him, and the social services can't stop them. And he was getting cleaned up, and Lee told me last night that he's in rehab. He didn't come out of his room for dinner. When they went into his room to find out what was going on, he was dead. So yeah, yesterday I got two. And then this morning I come down, and there's an old lady that's lived in my block. I mean, she's 91, and she's lived there since the block was built, which was 62 years ago, when they knocked the houses down and they moved them into the block. A lot of people have lived there for years. I mean, when I moved there, people had lived there for years and years, and they've died off over the years and moved into old people's homes and died off and whatever. Anyway, about 6 weeks ago, COVID time, she fell over in her flat. And she's got the phone number of one of the other neighbours, another old lady that lives there, but the one who gets out and about. So she's phoned her, and the other old lady's gone down there, and she said, I better phone you out, I fell over. So the other one said, well, I'll phone an ambulance. And she said, oh, no, don't do that, I don't want to go an ambulance. I've only just fell over and banged me leg. I haven't broken anything or anything, you know what I mean? I'm all right. It's just that I wanted someone to have a cup of tea with, it made me jump a bit. So the other old girl's gone, no, well, we better get you, just send you to hospital to get you checked out. And then she phoned another person in the block who's a bit younger but has also lived there for years. And they both agreed between them that they was going to send her in an ambulance to the hospital just to get checked out, which they did. Although she was complaining, saying she didn't want to go. They, it's like people railroad you. So they think they're doing the right thing. So anyway, in she gets into the ambulance, off she goes to the hospital. I saw them. I didn't see her because she was in hospital, but I saw the other two over the next couple of days, individually, but over the next couple of days. So to the younger one, she said, oh, she'll be out of hospital soon. And I said to her, you know what, I don't think she's going to be. No, I don't think so. I think give it 6 to 8 weeks' time, and they'll be in there clearing that flat out. And anyway, was I wrong? This morning, there's a van outside, and this old lady's life is all over the pavement, all over the area where they dump things, and they've got a truck there, and they're loading it all into the truck and to throw away. That's her life. Because what happened was the hospital said, well, the hospital and the council, it's council property, this is where they're grabbing back property off of old people. They don't like it that old people are holding up property. We've got loads of people in the country now, so we need council property, so why have an old person in there? And the old people, they won't voluntarily go into the old people's homes, so normally as soon as they get the opportunity to grab the flat back, which is what they do, Like my mum, as soon as she went into hospital, they grabbed her flat back. And when she came out, she had to go into an old people's home. So, yeah, that's what's happening. So, the old girl has gone from being in her flat, still cooking for herself and cleaning herself and doing everything else. I mean, she's 91, but she's still able. So phoning her mate up and saying, I fell over her, but I'm okay, but she fancy coming up for a cup of tea because I'm a bit shook up about it. And then the mate going up there and saying, oh, yeah, best we send you to the hospital to get you checked over. Well, they wouldn't let her out of hospital, and then they wouldn't let her go back to her flat. So now she's in an old people's home. She's been there for the last 2 weeks. The nephew's been round there and taken all of her personal possessions. I saw him with a few bags of stuff, him and his son. She don't have any children of her own. She never had any children of her own. She brought up her nephews, actually. And now she's been in an old people's home for 2 weeks. Only 2 weeks. And they're clearing the flat out already. Anyhow. So, I'm sitting here. The sun is shining on me. This is a long old rant. I don't know if you're going to listen to it. There's KB. So what would my advice be? Well, what can I say? If you're feeling really, really depressed, talk to someone. Even if you hang your head out the window and talk to someone walking past. Just talk to someone. Or singing. Just sing, you know? You don't always want to go out. Sometimes you're frightened to go out where you live. Just talk to someone. Just open the window, and if anyone that walks by, just, oh, it's a nice day today, or good morning, you know. Or, of course, phone someone up if you can. And if your wife goes down the shop late at night, if you can, don't let her go on her own. And if your mate's an old person, male or female, and they've had a little trip, as long as they haven't broken any bones or smashed themselves open, if they tell you they do not want to go to the hospital, don't railroad them. Don't make them. It's their life. It's their choice. And as much as you think that you're doing the right thing, you think you're doing the right thing, you're not. Not at the moment, you're not. And if you're feeling depressed, can you hear those birds? Just try and get out. Just try and get out. Just try and get out. I spent 2 days crying, like, over the weekend. I went downstairs to go to Jimmy and Jai's, and had a run-in with my neighbour, which I might say she was the one that was, I don't have to move my car if I don't want to, and and whatever, and she's just... And I come back on the Saturday and she's still carrying on. I bumped into her and, oh my God, she's still carrying on. And I thought, do you know what? What's gone wrong with the world? Park your car right in front of mine. It's like me parking my car across your driveway, and then when you come out, me saying to you, I don't have to move it, but you're in an emergency, you're trying to get somewhere in a hurry. Because Jade says she weren't well. Well, yeah, I told you we've got a new baby on the way. I told you that her last little boy died at birth last year. We've got a new baby on the way. And Jade's feeling tired, obviously. She's only a few weeks, she'll feel tired, don't you? So anyway, that's my news. So I've come out today. I've got the car. I've got to clean the car, dog's hairs all over it. And that goes tonight, and I won't have that all over the weekend. And Chloe's having a good old run. And I've told you some real life stories that are quite unbelievable. And look at that lovely flower. Isn't that nice? And butterflies. It really is a nice day today. So now I'm going to go throw the ball a couple more times. Because Kobe loves being here. And go for a little walk. Yeah. And, oh yeah, the march that I went on the 29th of August, my birthday march, day after my birthday, wasn't it? Well, there was meant to be another one on the 26th, but the government don't like the idea of people marching against them and their COVID rules, so they changed they changed the goalpost. Apparently they're shutting London down on the 21st, so now the march has been moved to the 19th, and it's just a case of letting everyone know that. I think we've worn Kobe out. It's a case of letting everyone know that, and of course they're relying on loads of people not getting to know it because they're shutting loads of stuff off of media there, Facebook, YouTube. So unless you spread it around through the internet, WhatsApp it or email it or text it to someone, then everyone's going to think it's the 26th still, but it isn't, it's the 19th. So if anyone from the UK is listening to this, the anti-COVID march, the Freedom for Us, it's no longer on the 26th, it's now on the 19th. So whether this gets shut down or not, for daring to tell you that, I don't know. Let's hope not. So, love you lots. Love yourselves more. Bye bye.